Hello, I'm Marsha Ogden. Welcome to my podcast, Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus. It's for anyone who's passed that milestone, like me, by a long chalk, and who, like me, has realised that we could be on this earth for another 30 or 40 years. So let's plan to make the rest of our life the best of our life. Before we get started with this week's episode, can I just remind you to please review, share and subscribe to the Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus podcast on whatever platform you're listening on. And if you do want to plan to make the rest of your life the best of your life, take a look at www.googleit.com/my-best-life and find out more about My Best Life Journal and workshops. Welcome to episode 46 of the Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus podcast. This one's called, Have You Tried Face Yoga? How is everyone? Are you adjusting to your new way of life? At least in the UK, the weather's been kind to us so far. I had my birthday on Thursday and my daughter's birthday yesterday. That was a bit strange. No family round, and as my two daughters are bakers, we usually have 2 drop-dead delicious birthday cakes in the space of 2 days. Oh well, no doubt we'll make up for it. You will love my guest this week. From Calgary in Canada, it's face yoga expert Kim Sarson. The chat, as usual, is casual, but she does have an interesting challenge for you, and she gets me doing some face yoga here on the podcast. I know you can't see it, but she does explain it very well. And if you saw the little promo video that went out a couple of days ago on Facebook and Instagram, you will have seen me doing it. But first, as you know, instead of a handy life hack, whilst we're on lockdown, I've seen a lot of social media about how to make the most of this very strange period in our lives. And so each week that we're in this situation, I will try to bring you the best ideas on keeping us productive and, of course, entertained. This week, I don't know if it's because hysteria is setting in, but here are 5 silly, handy life hacks. Number 1. List every chocolate bar you can think of, then rank them from best to worst. Number 2. Learn your debit or credit card number by heart. 3. Pick an everyday object, such as, say, the coat hanger, for example. Research its history online. Number 4. Organise the tangle of cables behind your TV. 5. Sit in the car and just remember what it feels like to go for a drive. Haha, remember those good old days? Here's a quick word about the Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus My Best Life Journal. I'm going to stress again the benefits of journaling. And don't tell me you haven't got time. The journal is a year long, it's undated, and as I keep saying, it's big, so there's lots of room for reflection and planning. It's not just a diary or a planner, it's a place to write your thoughts and work on breaking bad habits and developing new traits and skills. And of course, you get the added bonus gift of 8 meditation tracks to download. My stock of journals was for delegates at my forthcoming workshops. But as they are no longer happening, and it's desperate times, desperate measures, I'm going to put a link in the show notes that'll give you the journal for £23 instead of £33. And of course, I'm not going anywhere, so if you do need any help to get started, please feel free to contact me. Have a look at the link. In our lifetime, we have never had a more relevant time to journal what we're thinking and what we're doing and what we're planning for the future. Here's Kim. My guest this week on the Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus podcast is Kim Sarsons. Kim is in Calgary, Canada, and you'll be very interested in hearing what Kim does. Kim is an expert in face yoga. See, I bet you didn't even know that existed, did you? But first, here in the UK, we are just starting the third week of lockdown thanks to the coronavirus. How are things in Canada? Are you under strict restrictions as well?
Well, we definitely have social distancing in place. We have essential services open so that people can get groceries and put gas in their car, that kind of thing. Schools have been closed now. This is the fourth week of school closures. Yeah. So my daughter, she's 14 and she's been home now for about 24 days. We're very conscientious of the responsibilities that we have for flattening that curve and abiding. Like when I go into shops now, yesterday I went out to run a quick errand and there's stickers on the floors on 6 feet apart so that people know where to stand and what that approximate distance is. So, and a lot of people are wearing masks. We don't go out with masks, but we go out with gloves. It's still middle of winter here. Winter has returned. It keeps
right.
Yes, it goes and it comes back.
Right.
So we've got the gloves on for two reasons.
Yeah.
And we're just out, we're doing groceries. That's it. We get out maybe once a week in the car. And other than that, we're taking daily walks, trying to get some fresh air.
Yeah, we're allowed one walk a day with the people you live with, not with anyone else. I think the problem in England is there are certain people who will not be told what they can and can't do, and they do not adhere to the social distancing. I mean, fair enough. Everyone forgets once in a while. You have to keep it to the forefront of your mind because it's not natural, is it? But yeah, I think the problem in England is they need to really clamp down because they don't do as they're told. Most do, but there's just some that are going to spoil it for everyone and make the restrictions are going to have to become much, much tougher, which is a shame, really. But yeah, our schools finished 2 weeks ago. I think this is the first of the third week, but they would have been off for Easter holidays now, wouldn't they?
We have Easter coming up. So ours have been out. Funny enough, our last day of school with students was Friday the 13th.
Yes, I think it was here. Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird, isn't it? So, but we'll all be quite different people when we come out the other end, I think.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. So tell us what a face yoga expert does.
Well, I'll talk a little bit about what face yoga is, first of all. I presume most people know what yoga is. So fitness aligned with breathing and stretching and toning the muscles of the body, cultivating that awareness and grounding and all of those sorts of things that come with yoga. Face yoga is all of that and more, but it's directed to the muscles of the face. So it's interesting that when we think of fitness, we really only think from the neck down.
We do. Yeah.
And largely that's because with the fact that our faces have more than 50 muscles at work all the time. Some are working more than others. Some are relaxed and need to be activated, while others are overly activated and leaving evidence behind. So
yes,
when I say
I've got a lot of evidence on my face.
So things like facial habits, like looking at a screen with a furrowed brow, or keeping the jaw tight, and that comes from tension. And that tension can actually be building up in the body, and it just, because everything is connected, it can manifest on the face through the expressions that we hold and that kind of thing. So what face yoga aims to do is to activate those dormant or sleeping muscles, relax the overused ones, and ultimately tone, lift and tone. So with the nature of the muscles, they're very fine and they lay flat and they're attached to the skin.
Mm-hmm.
So when you tone up the muscles beneath the skin ends up kind of having to mold itself over top, and so that the lifting begins to show, and the reduction in the fine lines begins to show because the muscles are being toned up.
Yeah.
So if you think of like, as we get older and gravity's at work, it's pulling down.
Yeah.
Levels are dropping. Things like collagen, which is natural protein in the skin, elastin.
It is okay for our age, over 50.
Of course. Yes.
It's not too late.
No, anyone can do it, any age. In fact, my daughter, as I've mentioned, she's 14, and she had an issue when she was about 3 years old with a little infection in one of her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And subsequently that eye appears significantly smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So I've taught her ways to work on that eye in particular to open it up more, so she has that symmetry in the face.
Yes.
I tend to look at faces differently.
Right.
And I see them differently, and I can kind of make up stories like, oh, this person looks like they might be dealing with a high stress job, or maybe they've got a lot of kids at home that are running the roost and that kind of thing, because I can see the stress in their face.
Yeah. I have a lot of laughter lines, but my husband reckons nothing can have been that funny. But what does annoy me is I've got a great big ridge between my eyes, as if I have been worrying all my life.
Yeah, I can see it. Yep.
And I don't know why, because I'm a happy person. I've had ups and downs like everybody, but nothing so stressful that it would have caused that great big furrow. And that really annoys me, because that, like you said, I think people must think, oh, she's so intense,
Well, one fun thing to do is get a mirror. So I just have my mirror right here, just a little stand mirror, and kind of travel around with it while you're at home right now. So for example, put it at the dinner table or at the meal table, and watch yourself, just catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror as you're eating. Sort of see what it looks like when you're eating. Maybe you're chewing more on one side than the other. And so the muscles on that side of the face might be more developed than on the other side. As you're going through your day, just observe yourself. Like even when you do video, watch them back and kind of see your own expression. And of course, there are poses and exercises to address those lines. We call them 11 lines, because usually there's 2 there.
Right. Oh no, I've only got one.
You only got one.
It's as deep as 2. It's as deep as 2, but it's only one. I like that idea of sort of catching a glimpse at, say, at the dinner table, because the only time we know what we look like is, as you say, on video, or when we're looking in the mirror to put makeup on or something. So to catch sort of a casual glimpse.
It's even connected to how you carry yourself. So if you think of yoga as being designed for the body to come into natural alignment. So with face yoga, because our head is positioned at top of our bodies, if we have a posture issue, whatever it might be, so it might be, one shoulder is higher than the other, it might be an injury further down below, and that throws the hip alignment off. Like it all ends up working its way up to the head and the face.
Right.
And so like some people carry their head tilted to one side for some reason, and that's their natural position. And you don't notice these sorts of things until you start to study yourself. So being on social like distancing right now, there's a lot of time to really spend with yourself and study your own habits and notice what they're doing to your face.
Wow. Because you have a quote on your website: aging is a fact of life, looking your age is not. Like you say, while we've got this time, it's not being vain, it's just working with what we've got and seeing what improvements we can make, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's connected very much to self-esteem as well and confidence.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've got all of these forces working against us all the time. Gravity is working on us constantly. The thing is, at certain points of time in life, certain things switch off. So I mentioned collagen earlier. Collagen production starts to drop after about age 25. It starts to drop.
Right, as early as
So
that, right?
yeah, and then so that's connected with the plumpness of the face, and
Mm-hmm.
face, and elastin is associated with, it works with collagen, and it's that elasticity, so the ability for the skin to bounce back. So like my daughter will furrow her brow and then she relaxes and it's completely gone. But if she
Yes.
keeps doing that,
Yeah.
if she keeps doing that and doesn't learn to relax her forehead, then those lines that are showing up just in those moments, they're going to start to stick around. Yeah, and you see, with technology, this is a factor as well. A lot of people are on their phones and their head is positioned downward. So what that's doing is creating what we call tech neck.
Of
So
course, yeah.
wrinkles in the neck, the double chin starts to form.
Yeah.
We see a lot of younger people these days really hunched over because
Mm.
they're constantly tilted forward.
Yeah, yeah. And I suppose once the collagen and the elastin start to give up, if you're looking down all the time as well, that can't be good either, can it? Just letting your face flop down.
Yeah, actually, there's a fun exercise. You take a
Right.
mirror or you take your phone on photo mode.
Mm.
You hold it in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's your today face, kind of like a passport photo.
Yeah.
And then you take the phone down parallel to the floor
Yeah.
and you look down.
Oh my God. No,
That's
I
your
don't want to
future
do that.
face. That's your future face. And then the
Oh,
fun
wow.
part,
That is interesting. Yeah.
yeah, because gravity starts doing this and it starts
Yeah.
pulling everything forward and down.
Yeah.
But the fun part is you can go the other way, hold it up above you and look up. Gravity starts to do this
Yeah.
and you get that nice lift. So that's quite a bit of inspiration to see,
Yeah.
oh, so if I start learning different poses and exercises to counteract gravity,
Mm-hmm.
it's more likely that I can return to my past face
Yeah. Yeah.
than, venture into that territory of the future face.
Yeah. So
And
how
you're
do you coach people? Is it online lessons, and do you have to do something every day to see results? And how long does it take before you would notice a difference? Because like you say, once you can see a difference, or somebody says, "Oh, you're looking younger," or whatever, or more glowing, or it does tons for your self-confidence, doesn't it?
yeah, yes, and you just want to do more.
Yeah.
So I teach in different ways. So I teach one-on-one,
Mm.
and I can do that through Zoom. I can do that through, or I have to now, right?
Yeah.
I've done group events and I've done workshops with different larger events where I've been invited to present face yoga. I teach in all kinds of ways. What I'm trying to do currently is create more video content so that I can teach more on demand, you could say.
Talking about how you teach, you have put a special challenge together for our Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus listeners, haven't you? And this will be easy to access through Kim's business Facebook page. And it's not a big commitment, but it's going to be a 7-day challenge for you to do at home and to witness for yourself the difference that getting into a face yoga self-care routine can have on you and how you feel. So I'm going to let Kim explain how the 7-day challenge will work.
Okay, so I call it the 7-day immunity lift challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So with a virus going around, it makes sense that we focus on our health and well-being and doing what we can to boost our immune systems. So there are many ways to do that are natural. And one of my key values in wellness pursuits is that they are safe, natural, and and easy to incorporate and sustainable. So these are 7 tasks or habits that I'm introducing, 1 per day, and each of them has both immunity boosting benefits as well as lifting and benefits, or benefits for the inner work that needs to be done for the skin. So like for a nice glow.
Right.
Yes. So each day there'll be new information and a new challenge. So it starts on day 1 with hydration. The focus is on hydration. I talk about the benefits of hydrating with a particular temperature of water,
right,
and quantity. And then I just put together a little checklist and like a habit tracker for monitoring how many cups per day you're consuming. So for women, it's recommended that roughly 1.6, 1.8 liters of water per day,
right,
is ideal. So, if that means replacing a soda or a beer or a coffee with water, I mean, just right there, you can think of the benefits, because you don't have the refined sugar that you would have with soda. You don't have the caffeine, which is dehydrating, that you have from coffee.
So, so they're just generally good habits to get into.
They are, but actually drinking more water is one of the toughest habits for people to adopt. The bathroom is right there.
Yes.
That's one of the tough things, right? Like, you drink a lot of water, you have to go to the bathroom a lot.
So you've got the bathroom, you've got your mirror there for your yoga. You're ideally situated in these strange times to take Kim up on this challenge. As I say, I will get all the links from you for your website, your Facebook page, etc. And let's have a go at that. I'll certainly do it. And then maybe some listeners might want to record your message when you've done the 7 days and let us know what you thought about it. So before Kim leaves us, I have a question to ask. If you were to meet teenage Kim now, and she could see you and where you are and where you're at, what would she be proud of? And what's one thing that she might think, I wish we'd done that differently?
I really like these questions. I think she would be very proud of my impact. So that speaks to my 20 plus years as a public school teacher, as an educator, and the countless number of students I've had, across ages and grades. And I even worked at an international school in South America for a year.
Oh, wow.
So I have, touched other lives in faraway places, and just seeing how these students have developed as humans. And I think she would be very, very proud of what she would feel that I should have done differently. One, I think, would be to ease up on my perfectionist tendencies. And I feel I've done that in the last few years. I am a Virgo, so I come by this naturally, the pictures, just if they're just a little off center,
you've got to fix it.
I notice these, maybe, I'm not nearly like I used to be. I've calmed down quite a bit, but I did put a lot of pressure on myself to do things well. And, we didn't call it anxiety when I was growing up. We called it being nervous and being shy. But I think, she would say, you shouldn't have been so anxious. You should have just gone ahead and done things. But would you like to learn some face yoga right now?
Oh, go on. Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I'll do my best, since this is a podcast. I'll do my best to explain. The first one that we'll do, this is for circulation. So as we get older, our metabolism slows down. So in terms of skin and cellular turnover and the sloughing off of dead cells and that kind of thing, that slows down. So what happens is we end up with a more dull appearance.
Mhm.
and not that glow. This first exercise is to stimulate that circulation. So it's very, very simple. It's hands-free.
Mhm.
Oh, and I forgot to say this actually. When you practice face yoga, it's important that your face is well moisturized. So you
Right.
don't have to do it right after cleansing. I mean, it's a natural time to do it after cleansing and moisturizing. But it's just good to make sure that it's well moisturized, because
Mhm.
with some poses, you do have to use your hands, and you do have to kind of, like, there's massages where you're kind of
Mhm.
pulling on the skin and that kind of thing. So
Right.
you don't want to cause any damage, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But for this one, it's hands-free. So all you do is, it's called the big O, and you make an O shape with your mouth,
Mhm.
kind of pulling the lower face down and just holding that
Mhm.
for a count of 10. So we don't have to do it for the full
Okay.
count, but, and I'll let you keep doing it and I'll talk.
Mhm.
What you should start noticing is just a gentle tingling sensation
Mm.
in your lower face. And then you can come out of it and just gently smile.
Yeah. It's strange because I've got headphones on as well. I can hear blood rushing around my head.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Added bonus.
So another one, a nice follow-up to that, starts with the big O. And then what you do is you say the word wow. You don't have to say it out loud, but
Wow.
wow, wow, wow. So this is even
Wow.
more muscular activation.
Mm.
And
I feel like Charlie Brown on a Peanuts cartoon. You know when they have the big mouths drawn on.
yep, yep,
Wow.
wow. So these are the kinds of exercises that you can do anywhere. I mean, I drive to work and I'm just looking in the rear view mirror. And
Mm.
another one that's connected to this as well, starts with the big O position, but then you take your gaze upwards. And what this does is it helps to stretch the ring muscle around the eyes. There's a ring muscle, if you imagine like a donut over your
Yeah.
eyes.
Right.
And yeah, it's a big ring. And what it does is it helps to address puffiness and dark circles.
Oh,
So
useful.
you go into the
Mhm.
big O position.
Yeah.
So if you
Mhm.
do that, open your eyes wide without moving your forehead. So
Oh.
really keep those eyebrows still, and then gaze upward. Just your gaze, your eyeballs look upward, and you should feel it. You can stay in that position for a few seconds, and then it starts to get a little uncomfortable.
Mhm.
But just come out of it and gently smile. Breathe. We
Mhm.
always have to remember to breathe when we're doing yoga of any kind.
Mm.
But if you do that a few times, it helps to tone up that
Right.
ring muscle,
Yeah.
and to, over time, lose the puffiness or reduce the puffiness under the eyes and the darkness
Yeah.
under the
Yeah.
eyes.
Oh, wow. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel stretched. Now, isn't that funny? Because I've been talking all day doing interviews. So you'd think my face would be stretched out and relaxed.
Exercise.
But it clearly isn't, because I can tell I've been stretching now.
Yeah.
Ways that I haven't been stretching whilst I've been talking. Yeah. Brilliant. Oh, well, thank you very, very much, Kim. Got
Pleasure.
an online lesson right here on this podcast. We've got the challenge to sign up to. And yeah, that was so interesting. Really, really looking forward to trying all these out on a regular basis, so that I might only look like 35. I might have to change the podcast to a directory of 35.
Well, I just
no,
want
this
to
not
say,
too ambitious.
yeah. Wow, the before and afters are pretty impressive. So here's
Yeah.
one thing about the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I will invite you into my private group, and I encourage participants to post before and after pictures.
Yeah, and
Because
this is in a private group, isn't it?
This is in a
So
private
you're not
group.
posting them all over Facebook. Don't worry about that.
No, it's a very small private group, but I think it's really important to show up, because, you know, when it comes to our face, that's what everybody sees, right? We can hide our bodies. We can wear big baggy clothes. We can hide our bodies if we want to. We can't really hide our face. And it's the first thing that people see when they meet us. It's the first thing that creates an impression in someone else's mind when they see us. So we want I believe that the energy we give off is the energy that's going to come back to us. I'm sure you agree with this as well. So simply by how you carry your face. So instead of, that passport face. We have names for that face, right? That's what you call it.
Resting bitch face.
Yes. Yeah. So that's another reason to have that mirror handy. So when you're just relaxing, have a look. What do you actually look like? You've got that default expression on. And then all you need to do, you just go like this. Gently lift the corners of your mouth.
Yeah.
Activate your cheeks. You feel better because your brain, you're kind of tricking your brain into believing that things are good. Right? And your brain doesn't know if it's real or not. It just responds with the release of different chemicals and happy things. And then once we're out of isolation and can see each other again, and you've got this nice little happy default smile going on, like your expression is one of happiness, people are going to think, what were you doing in isolation, right? You're looking so good. It's just because you're changing your expression, and then ultimately you're going to get the positivity back at you. So
of course, yeah. Oh, interesting. Well, thank you so much for your time, Kim. And I will be keeping in touch with you anyway via the Facebook group. But It's been absolutely lovely talking to you.
I've loved it. Thank you so much.
Wow. What did you think of Kim? If you'd like to take her up on the free challenge, there is a link to her private Facebook group in the show notes. I'm going to give it a whirl. Are you? The answer to last week's quiz is Western Australia and the Indian Ocean. Fortunately, nobody was hurt. If you want to know what the question was, you'll have to listen back to episode 45. Here's this week's question. Which English daily newspaper became a tabloid in 1971? No Googling, remember? And I'll give you the answer next week. Thanks so much for listening this week. Remember to tell your friends about this podcast, and remember my deal on the My Best Life Journal. There's no time like the present to do a bit of self-reflection and to get into the rhythm of keeping tabs on your mind and body self-care routine. If it's something that you thought of doing one day, well, today is that day. Do look after yourselves. If you do need a bit of company, don't forget that you can catch up on the previous Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus podcasts. If we've learned anything by our age, it's that nothing is forever. It's just a very strange time. See you next week. The Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus podcast is created and produced by me, Marsha Ogden, and it's available on several platforms, as well as via our website. So please keep listening and tell your friends all about it. Do follow us on Instagram and Facebook too. You'll find all the relevant links in the show notes. Directory of a Dream Life 50 Plus is about making our life happier and easier. So if you do have suggestions or if you'd like to be a guest on the show, just drop me a line at marsha@googlit.com. Have a fantastically happy week and I'll see you next time.